Tal, is this Trump making good on his promise, or was this set to happen anyway?
It's a great question, Tracy, and I think many will say, yes, he is making good on his promise. But let's just remind everyone that even before the vote on Jerusalem, we do know how President Donald Trump, or then candidate Donald Trump, used to bash at the United Nations over its overspending. Back in the Republican primaries, the then candidate Donald Trump used to say that the building here, right here behind me, the United Nations spent around $1 billion just to renovate it, and that he spent around $320 million to renovate his Trump Tower. So it's nothing new that Trump is very much against the United Nations in this respect. We heard also Nikki Haley speaking about it a lot, but we cannot ignore, of course, the timing right after the vote on Jerusalem. And Trump, will remember, before the vote, he said, let them vote against us. It will save us a lot of money. And here over the holiday, the United States mission to the UN released this statement saying that there will be cut of next year's budget, so we can definitely not ignore it, and it does come in connection to one another.
Right, and could we see this taken further and cut aid to countries that voted against the United States as he threatened?
I don't think that this is something that can happen tomorrow morning, Tracy, and maybe to cut off financial aid to certain countries is something that will have to go through Congress. Maybe it will pass there, but it is a longer process, because when we're talking about cutting off U.S. financial support to specific countries, we have to also bring into account the implications that this financial aid has on the entire region. It will change the balance of power. So there are many considerations to be made before such a step, unlike cutting off financial, the money to the United Nations, for example. It's not such a big thing to consider, probably, as we're talking about specific countries, maybe in Africa or the Middle East, because it can affect other countries as well.
Right, and could this move slashing the budget for the 2018-2019 backfire for Trump?
I think we're already seeing this in some respect, because, of course, on one hand, Trump's supporters, they are thrilled probably to see these announcements being made. It will save them a lot of money, as the president and Nikki Haley are also saying. On the other hand, Trump's opponents, people who do not support Donald Trump in the United States, we're already seeing on social media how many people react to these threats or this move now to cut, the budget for 2018-2019 for the United Nations. So people are saying that it isolates the United States on the international level, and also, well, yes, this is basically what it does. And also the Palestinians, we've been telling this thing throughout last week, that they've been playing this card to portray the United States and President Donald Trump as non-legitimate brokers in the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And I think that certain threats of this kind, it also serves the cause.
Right, we'll have to wait and see how this plays out in the weeks and months to come. Tal Heinrich, thank you for that report from New York.